I came across an essay recently written by a woman approaching her 30th birthday, looking back on everything she had to unlearn in her 20s. And it pulled from two writers, Sylvia Plath and Joan Didion, who in very different ways say the same uncomfortable thing about life. From Plath, specifically in The Bell Jar, there's this idea of the fig tree. The idea is this: imagine your life as a fig tree full of ripe figs. Each fig is a different path, a relationship, a career, a city, a version of yourself. And if you sit in that tree for too long, unable to choose, unable to move, the fig starts to rot. And eventually you're just sitting there, surrounded by what could have been. And then Didion, in Slouching Towards Bethlehem, who writes about something more unsettling, the stories we tell ourselves about our lives and how often they aren't true. And I really felt that because I have held so many rotten figs in my life. I've held them and convinced myself they'd ripen if I just waited a little longer, loved a little harder, or tried a little more. It never happened. Why do we lie to ourselves like that? Why do we hold on to things like that? Most of the time it's fear. Fear of empty hands, fear of starting over, fear that if you put this fig down, the relationship, the job, the habit, the version of yourself, there won't be another one waiting. But it's not just fear. It's the story we tell ourselves about what we're holding. And that's the part Didion understood so well. We don't just keep the wrong things, we rewrite them. We call something potential when it's inconsistency. We call it a rough season when it's been years. We call it love, purpose, timing, anything but what it actually is. I held on to things for years that gave me bits and pieces of what I actually needed. And I convinced myself that a little was better than nothing. It showed up everywhere in how I spent my time, in what I prioritized, and how long I put my own creativity on the back burner because everything and everyone else felt more urgent. In how long I lived in survival mode before I even realized that's what I was doing. The thing nobody tells you about your 20s is that you're going to give enormous value to things that haven't earned it. And you're going to hold on to them long past the expiration date because admitting that means admitting you chose wrong. Here's what I've learned over the years and what that essay said better than I could. Choosing the wrong fig doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. The problem isn't picking wrong. The problem is staying wrong once you know. And sometimes knowing isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet and uncomfortable. And it makes you feel guilty for lying to yourself. I used to think starting over meant I had failed. That every rotten fig was evidence that something was wrong with me. But something in me refused to accept a life that wasn't mine.